that the agencies and authorities have the following problems. First, they do no work or little work, yet for us, we are always working for the master line. Bonna bagagaware, duchu. So there is a fundamental contradiction. They do either no work or very little work. And yet for us, we want to reach everybody. So we are incompatible. We are incompatible. I cannot continue with the UCDA, with the DDA, because for them they are working for a few. When they work for a few. But you hear now the stories, the corruption, the what. But even if they were not corrupt, they don't seem to have the capacity to reach the many, to reach the bona. Yet our line is bona. Second, in the process, they duplicate the work of the ministries. Duplication. Moreover, they do the duplication most expensively. By 2016, a mere 3,905 persons, this for all the agencies, not UCDA only, 3,905 persons in these agencies were using Uganda shillings 2.2 trillion, while 80,000 people in the public service were using only Uganda shillings 2.6 trillion. You can imagine. 3,000 people were using 2.2 trillion shillings in 2016. That's when the alarm came. That's when we came to know. And then that's when this rationalization started. On the wages, on the side of the wages, the 80,000, because the 80,000 are the 18,000 people in the ministries, permanent secretary, under secretary, those people there, clerks, plus 60,000 soldiers. I just estimated the figure of soldiers. 2016 was about, let's say, 60,000. So here you would say 80,000 public servants were being wages now, MSARA, were being paid 755 billion. The 3,000 were being paid 995 billion. What sort of this? For doing no work? Eh? You can't believe it. In Musempura and Okswara that we have been having this debate. Really, what are you debating? Either you are Mpura Okswara and Zevanange, abantu bange bano bentambula nabo bantu ba kikaki. Ukono nobude ensonga ngeno. 3,000 people, 3,905 emisala bali bafuna obuwumbi lwenda mu 95 omwaka. Abakozi ba gavumenti emitwalo 8 bafuna obukadde obuwumbi 755. 13,000 basingira ddala emitwalo 8 ku musaala gwokka, totaddemu the other expenses. 4, it seemed that they were also getting corrupt, but also they were poorly supervised because they were away from the public service, and the boards that are supposed to supervise them are not constituted with the sound logic. Because the boards which you look after, who are they? But never to look board. Because in business, the board members are normally some of the owners of the business. And when the board, the management is different, but because the wealth is mine, fire you. But having board members who are just also looking for what to eat, they can't guarantee. Boards in companies are sometimes from the owners of the business. They therefore have a vested interest in the health of the business. The borders for these groups have not been logically grounded. 5, these agencies cannot have an adequate network to do extension work. You heard what Mutumba was saying, that the one supervisor for the Kiboga, was also supervising Hoima. He would come. The MP for Kiboga West told us of a coordinator for that area that had to look after the whole of Kiboga and also parts of Busoga, Bunyoro. He would come occasionally and he would work through the extension workers of the ministry. Number 6, in any case, apparently they do not do phytosanitary certification. Now this one is also new information. The one given by Biarhanga, that apparently what they were calling phytosanitary, to show that the product is safe, it is done by the ministry apparently. And that by law they are not even allowed to do it. It is the ministry that does it. It is done by a unit in the Ministry of Agriculture. That unit certifies all agricultural products, not just coffee. Number 7, apparently UCDA has only been grading screens, 18, what, that apparently that's what they have been doing. Saying that this is bigger, this one is smaller, grading the size. But they say that that certification is not recognized internationally, that it is only for internal use. The international certification is by the ministry. Number 8, the government extension workers, now that they are better paid, and we are going to apply on them the UPDF like standing orders, they will wake up. There are government extension workers at every sub-county. UCD had only 55 in the whole country. How could they manage? Duplication that is ineffective and grossly expensive. This is the situation. This was a duplication that was not effective, but also very expensive. It seems, therefore, that the agencies were not necessary from the very beginning. Why? It is because they do not develop the planting and breeding materials. Because Boganda kumirimo ejiri kubirime no kulunda. Number 1, planting and breeding material. They are not the ones who do them. It is the scientists. Propagation. They don't do it. The promotion. Now, even the safety, they don't do it. So, what were these people for? They do not do the phytosanitary. The ministry is the one which does it. They do not do the promotion. It is the operation wealth creation. Ourselves, the other stakeholders such as MPs, churches, etc., that do most of the promotion. I therefore thank the NRM MPs for putting to an end these parasitic agencies and authorities that were consuming so much money. The money thus saved will help us to do the important roads we have been trying to tarmac unsuccessfully. These are roads like Mianzi, Kasanda, Bukuya, Kiboga, Ruwero, Butarangwa, Ngoma, Briamshenyi, Kijunjubwa, Masindi, Mpigi, Kasanje, Nakauka, Kisubi, Fort Potro, Kijura, Buziwera, Nsika, Nyakashaka, Nyakabirizi, Kazo, Kabogore, Mpara, Kyejegwa, Hapuyo, Karuguza, Kashenshoro, Rukungiri, Muhanga, Rwamcucu, Kisizi, Rubare, Kabingo, Rugaga, Magabi, Rakai, Kanunimanyi, Mityana, Sekanyonyi, Busunju, Chikagate, Kitwe, and Kitwe, Ruoho, Buteraniro, Hamurwa, Kanungu, Jinja, Budondo, Mbulamuti, Kamuri, Bukungu, Iganga Lyantonde, Rumbugu, Rakai, Chiyunga, Kamuri, Iganga Chiyunga Kamuri, Kariro Kamuri, Manafa na Msindwa, Manjia, Moroto Kotido Kabong, Kitugumana Mukora Karenga Kidepo, Dokora Amoratar Namasare, Kituguma Pieta Atiak, Moyo Koboko, Sorota Muri Obaranga Achanpi, Adilang, Lira Aroya Dwari, Patongo, Nebi, Gori, Paida, Arua. Even if we save shillings 1.5 trillion from these agencies per year, it would help us to do this. The most shameful part were those who were tribalizing the effort. It is criminal to do so. It is good, however, that they have come out and said that Museveni will be stealing part of the coffee if UCDA is abolished. UCDA is now abolished. We shall now see which coffee Museveni will steal. If there will be no coffee stolen by Museveni, as there will be no coffee stolen, the people of Uganda must realize the shallowness of these groups and punish them politically. Although I think we should also punish them even legally. Finally, I must comment on the rotten opportunism of these parasites that is also dangerous. The coffee prices have been quite high, which has been good for Uganda. Apparently, the high prices are high because of the drought that hit Brazil and other coffee-producing countries. Therefore, none of us is responsible for high prices that we are getting now. What I am responsible for, and for which I should be credited for, is that NRM rescued the research scientists and generally the wealth creators by creating peace for them to work, and we also correctly identified coffee as one of the high-value activities that can be undertaken that we put in the manifesto of the NRM of 1996. That was when UCDA had just started. We correctly identified that the demand for the coffee is growing from 118 million bags in which year? In 2000. The demand of global demand of coffee was 118 million 2000. Now it is 160 million bags, not kilograms. So that's what we should be credited for. Nti twarengera nti emwanyi erina akatale kanene okusinga ekyokwerabirako vanilla, and we recommended it. We recommended it and promoted it. But the high prices are not our work. It is the international, the global demand of coffee, which has been, there is a shortage of coffee now because of the drought in South America. However, if too many farmers flood into coffee because of the high prices, supply may exceed demand and we end up with prices collapsing. That is why the NRM advises people to go, not to go for kechokomba, moving on one leg, like when children are playing. When you are walking on one leg,
ese okongojja.
That's why NRM, we cannot say, oh, only money, because if the production goes on, it may exceed demand, and the price will collapse. And that's why for us, we therefore recommend a package, not just one thing, but a package. The 4 acres model. Emwanyi, ebibala, amata, ente z'amata, emmere, embuzi, mwabali embuzi, enkoko z'amagi, fish farming for the small people, so that you don't kongoja, you have more legs than one.